Hello Internet and welcome back to a little bit more of Inmost. Just check my Steam stats. We're 3 hours into the game. It feels like we've done a fair chunk in those 3 hours. We're travelling. Well, you know, we used to have a home, but someone decided we had to go travelling and dropped us here. So now we're travelling. Thank you for, well, you know. I don't. I don't know. What am I supposed to be being thanked for? Can't torch. Oh, I know a guy. He keeps track of stories. Do you like stories? His stories are about this world. Huh. Well, that was weird. Right. Let us head up. Woo! Aha! Clunk. I spy a secret hole. Clunk. Clunk. More pain. Sorry, a message has popped up on the screen. You can't see this. There we go. It's Epic Games Store telling me that the Shadowrun collection is now available for free. Which would be great if I hadn't already picked it up, because I'm usually on the ball with these things. Down you go. Thank you, door. Ah. Okay. Once again, it's not actually a super big map. But size isn't everything. Ooh. Oh, this is pretty. Fox! Oh, that's gorgeous! Goddamn beautiful game. And now something's going to come and wreck it. Oh, that rainbow light. Ooh. A fountain. The fountain. Achievement unlocked. It's the girl. Cleansing his black heart? Oh. Oh, a younger version of himself. Creating a flower. So they had a child. interesting. That little drawing away there implies that maybe he was surprised or didn't want it. Was it... And she's grown ill? The game leaves a lot to interpretation. Fortunately, that's my thing, but it's not going to be everybody's. I need a key. I have to know what's in there. There's a telescope on top of the cabinet. I like watching stars. I like watching the neighbours' windows. Okay. The crates are covered with a cloth. The fabric is adorned with images of teddy bears. I hate those creatures. Toy bears are toy rabbits' natural enemies. Once we'll wipe them all from the face of the earth. A mighty blaze of inescapable vindication. That should say one day. One day we will wipe them all from the face of the earth in a mighty blaze of inescapable vindication. Once doesn't actually work. And their ashes will cover the roofs of our dollhouses. Okay, you are a strange, strange little bunny. This is that thing they paint pictures on. An easel. That's so stupid. Easy to just paint on the walls. Doesn't matter where the painting is, only the emotions it evokes. Mine mostly evoke rage, though. Push the door. Have you tried pulling it when we were on the other side? Or did you only push? That is an excellent question. We only pushed, didn't we? Yeah, we can't push that any further. That's severed fingers. That's pickles. Green bumpy fingers. Quite the imagination, this child. I can play the drums. The best thing about drums is that anything can be won. Even a piano. You just need a larger stick. A chess table. Some figures are replaced by buttons. E2 to E4. Black wins in 3 turns by checkmate. The defeated king will be captured and will face the guillotine. Gil what? Whatever is needed. You're making a lot of noise. I'm not afraid anymore. She left. She should be afraid now. Old record player, surprisingly it still works. There are tiny gnomes inside this thing. They play the music. Hit it! Make them scared! I want to hear their screams. This child is quite disturbed, I think. Don't forget about him, too. He's always at his work. She was really afraid of me. But why? Oh, was this the rabbit that belonged to their former child? I don't know. I don't care. I have to find out what they're hiding in the attic. Is it all their old stuff? Ooh, the plates! We're going to be punished. Who cares? Yeah, I don't think we're helping ourselves really here in terms of how... You know, there's a real back and forth to this in terms of blame. Ah. Found awards all covered with dust. Everyone forgot about them long ago. He used to treasure them. Now he doesn't care at all. How do you know that? I don't remember. There's a passage above the door. You can use the books to climb up. Oof. The pictures are all covered and the windows haven't been opened in a long while. The floor is dirty. She used to like everything clean. Something happened. How do you know all that? Maybe I used to be her toy? Not tall enough. Was there a chair? Yes, there was. Oh, we can search these drawers now. Nothing. Oh, we can't take the chair through. Various things are scattered across the table. The lipstick has long dried. She no longer has any use for them. So it's been abandoned. A key. It looks very old. This must be it. I tell you what, one thing would entertain me if this was actually the metaphor and all the other stuff has been the real world. That would be a delightful twist. Oh no! A rat? This is... It's an attic. It was... I think it was a badger. Oh, okay. How could it be? There's nothing here. Just some old junk. That's nice shadow work. Where are the abducted kids? Where are they hiding them? The chimney. What? The chimney from the fireplace. But there's no fireplace. Huh. Something tells me this child is not going to survive the game. The fireplace goes down to the oven. Yeah, falls. So now she's trapped behind the oven. Oh, I like how that comes in on her hair. Little flower. Oh my god. The cellar is full of old children's things. I was right. They are abducting kids. No, they're not. They just lost their kid. Get me out of here. Get me out of here, please. Mommy? Daddy? Please, where are you? Hidden rooms.
No one can leave while the keeper still needs them. And the keeper needs every ounce of pain. There is but one way out, to let the pain dissolve you. Surrender to it.
Aha.
The pure-hearted still grow their flowers. for the secret of the flowers lives on. Those who live in the light of their flower are free from pain and hidden from the keeper's ever-vigilant gaze.
Yeah, it feels like we're getting more powerful. The enemies aren't even fighting back as much.
The flower fills their hearts with love, and the love stands in the way of the pain.
And of course, we've grown accustomed now to...
And the keeper no longer has use for it.
Hello? We've grown accustomed to just killing everything that is...
But those who serve the keeper can never have their own soul flower.
What that?
There is no escape for them, for black are their souls.
Yeah, see, they weren't fighting back.
Even if you steal a flower, it'll never be yours. Such things should never happen.
Yeah.
Flowers must stay with those who gave them life.
So again, it's adoption, isn't it? That's my interpretation of it. I'm not yet sure who the keeper is in this tale. Is that the witch? Whoa! I have to get out. I have to get out before he comes back. Don't be afraid. We'll find my house. I just need to grab supplies. Water. Need to grab some water. In the teapot. Why did you abduct me? Get me back to my mummy and daddy. Just trying to form a connection. Drop by drop, tear by tear. taking all that pain away. Where are my parents? What happened to them? Was it the fire that killed her parents? And these two, their kid committed suicide. Oh, damn it. Ow. Jeez. So this is the mother, the manifestation of her rage and her pain and her guilt. They're fighting it out. Shadow of the Keeper there in the background. Huh. Whoa. Going to leave the three of us, just like we wanted. He's with her already. Soon I'll be there too. That looks a lot like a skull rather than a rabbit now. really could use some music here. So, was that the mom that came back with the knife? Stab through the heart.
He never was a knight, you know. One way or another, we all serve the Keeper. And we all have our desires. Most importantly, his heart was not all black. He had grown his own soulflower.
Halloween. So the mom and the daughter working together. Growing up, going to school. The bullying because she got the rabbit with her. Is it her or him? I guess it's a her. I think it's a daughter. So she got bullied.
He did not manage to save it, though. And that was his undoing.
Yeah. So she did. She was so.
And she. Well.
So their daughter
She never
committed
forgave him.
suicide. Her dad and mom never forgave each other for losing her.
But yes, he did steal that second flower.
Oh.
There is something you do not know, though. You were too young then, and no one told you.
That her parents
Everyone
died in
was
the
so
fire.
busy, so preoccupied with their own pain.
And that's the building. He ran into a burning building and saved her.
He stole the flower from death. Stole you away. And accepted you with all his heart.
But the mother couldn't, and she knew.
She couldn't, though.
You have to leave with me. We must be with our daughter. We will be with her. Do you hear me?
She blamed him. She blamed you. Some have to face more pain than they can handle. And the pain broke her. She wanted them to leave together.
She wanted them to die.
to follow their flower. And that night, they did leave. She took him with her. She took my son.
Interesting that the son must be the one that had the car. Not that I much like the gender stereotyping of that, but yeah. So the adopted mother, such as it, well, adopted is probably not the right word, but the mother killed her son? I'm not quite understanding the son bit, if I'm honest. And the tower is representative of this old building that burned in the fire, twisted and blackened. This is where she was found. And it's crumbling down. It's not safe. Does she understand that? See, that's the same thing as before. He couldn't save.
The pain stays with us forever. It can subside. It may grow dull, but it'll never leave us. And we live with it, doing our best not to let it dissolve us.
So this is him as an old
We
man.
fight it every day. But there are different kinds of pain. There's sacrificing yourself. The father consumed by work, trying to give his child a better future. The mother dedicating herself to her family until there is nothing left of her. Your pain is the price you pay to make someone else feel better, to make someone else smile, if only for a moment. But trading someone else's happiness for your pain is not the only way. Life doesn't want your pain. It doesn't need your suffering. It simply is what it is. You don't have to fight it. All we can do is remember those who are gone and do our best for those who remain. All of us carry our pain within us. Another way, even if you're in pain, another way is to take someone else's pain and make it your own.
She survived.
Do you remember? Do you remember it? That tale about pain? I was wrong. It's a tale about love. I will tell you. Tell you once again.
So it looks like they survived. And the three graves are his wife and his two children, the daughter and the son, I guess. And he brought her up on his own. Yeah, the Benny on the left. The revelation about him having a son as well was, I don't know. Maybe I missed something. To those who suffer, know that you are not alone. If you're in crisis, please ask someone you know or a trained professional for help. Wow. That was heart-wrenching. You can probably tell from the tone of my voice and the quiet over the last few minutes that and surprisingly that has affected me in a substantial way. But we didn't hear all of the guys' stories. So there's more stuff to find. He did say that there was one more. Yeah, one more story to hear. And obviously I would quite like to hear that story. But that means finding the last bits of pain. I figured out that's how you had to do that from watching back the footage. I don't know what to say about this. It's such a deeply personal story. And I feel like it will be lost on a lot of people. You know, not everybody has experience with loss. Obviously, if you don't have kids, then this especially kind of loss might be ooh. Yeah, it was a beautifully told story with a couple of the tiniest of missteps. The revelation that they had a son, unless I'm misunderstanding something, and I could be, because it's very difficult to watch cutscenes like that when you've got teary eyes. Yeah, it is quite possible that I missed something in that whole section. But yeah, a couple of minor things when it comes to that revelation. In all honesty, I'm not entirely sure the story needed that. I don't know. I'm just trying to think through. Aha! Excellent. Yeah, I'm trying to think through the story and try and figure out the necessity for the inclusion of a second child. He did say his son though, so perhaps, and this is wild supposition, perhaps the son was his from a previous marriage. I don't know. Ah, human. You see how the world hasn't frozen? Do you see it flow? Do you see it change? What exactly is it that you see? Do you see the castle consuming these lands? Do you see the witch going mad from her pain? Do you see the knight trying to walk the way that is not his own? This is all wrong. Something has happened. Something that has never happened before. The lines of the past have crossed again. Your past, their past, her past. The lines have connected you as they did before. This world is ruined. It is dead. Don't you remember? You ruined it. You weren't a part of this world. You came into it through a story. You have kept changing it. It is no longer her world. No more is it the world of the flower that sprung from the fire. Your existence splits this world in two, but your half is greater. In her world, the night stole the flower from those who gave it life. In your world, it didn't happen like that. You know the truth. You know that there is no night. Never has been. So go and do what you must. Destroy the castle of her world. Turn the world of the flower into dust. Save her. And we do. The world is changing. A new cycle begins. Don't let her enter the tower. Time is running out for this story. And of course, we've already seen the conclusion to this story. She does enter the tower and we end up having to go in to save her, but the tower is not a castle. It is the tower from which we rescued her as a baby. A very deep, mature, emotional tale. Well told, featuring very mature subject matter. I can see why and I've put this up on the videos as well, I can see why the game description itself says that some viewers may find the content distressing. Because it is. You know, I found it distressing. But it's told in metaphors and so few words realistically. It really adds. You know, I'm from a generation that grew up with video games. You know, I was born in the 80s, so the first video games were coming out but when I was too young to play them. But I've grown up with video games, and I've seen them go from fun arcade machine coin guzzling romps into a medium that is capable of telling stories, and from that medium capable of telling stories into a medium capable of telling good stories, and into a medium that is capable of telling good stories in such a way as to be considered art, on a par with a good film, television show, book. And as a writer and an English teacher who, let's be honest, the English curriculum in Britain still hasn't really caught up with the idea that video games can tell stories. You know, a lot of what we have to push as English teachers is that students should read. And there is a reasonable amount of truth to that, in the sense that a mastery of the written word really does help you in life with your ability to communicate with others. Does that mean that you need to know intimately the works of Shakespeare or Chaucer or Wordsworth or whomever? No, not really. But being able to communicate more effectively is useful for students, and so we have systems in place to help them read. But a lot of that is so that they can consume stories, because stories are part of our culture, stories are part of our traditions. Stories help us experience and empathize and understand with situations which we might not otherwise ever face in life. That's why we have fables and allegories, morality tales, as well as you know, simple dramas, cop shows, and so on and so forth. And video games have now reached the point where they can tell stories as well as any book in a way that is interactive and gripping and visual for students of the language, students of life. And I think that this game, as well as being so beautiful and atmospheric and haunting, has told a dark, dense, fairly well realised, with, as I said, with a couple of minor niggles, which I don't think I'm going to dwell upon, because I don't think they've really detracted from the experience as a whole. But they have told an excellent story about loss and tragedy, and at the end there, hope. All through these three parallel narratives of a sort, this fairy tale framework that has been used to knit this tale together into one jaw-dropping, eye-leaking, emotional package. Is it long? No. Does it need to be? No. In fact, I think for the story it tells, it is absolutely perfect in terms of length. And I can see why it is now recommended that you play this through in a single sitting, if possible. Alone, dark, stormy nights. This is just the kind of tragedy and horror that requires that kind of setting and commitment. Now, as I think I said at the end of the last episode, I am arguably fortunate in the sense that I'm quite an emotional person, an emotive person. Anyway, I'm you know, I'm well in touch with my feelings because I'm a writer, and you have to be good, quote unquote, at that kind of thing. You have to be good at that in order to write convincingly and write well, which is what I like to think that I do. So I don't think I've been limited so much by playing this in 4 sittings as it has been. It was just a fabulous experience. Deeply heart-wrenching, deeply emotional, but an excellent experience nonetheless. Furthering games as art, furthering pixel graphics as a way of telling a deep and compelling and emotional story. Excellent use of music, although my other minor niggle is that the audio balancing in places was just a little bit off. Sometimes in the night sections it was, usually the music was just a little bit too loud, to the extent that I had to turn it down in my headphones. Just an all-round fabulous experience. And such a heart-wrenching story. And of course, as I was saying, last lesson, as I was saying last video, I'm a teacher. I work with children. And, well, I don't work with children as young as the one in this story, I think, is supposed to be. I work with teenagers for the most part. I've worked with children who are struggling with their parents for a wide variety of reasons. And that makes this, to an extent, hit harder, I think. And I'm sure if you are a parent, especially a parent with young children, or a parent for whom any of this hits close to home, I can imagine that by the end of this game, you would be in a much more tear-sodden state than I'm in. And, yeah, my eyes are a bit red, to say the least. Thank you all very much for joining me on this ridiculously emotional journey. I hope you have found the playthrough, I don't even want to say entertaining, because it feels like the wrong kind of word. But I hope you have got something out of it, even if it is from a story critique, you know, point of view. This is, I know a lot of people take the mick out of English teachers for how we try and get people to analyse everything, to break everything down. Everything has to have significance. Everything has to have meaning. And real life's not like that. And no, of course it's not. And books aren't like that either. But if you go through life thinking that nothing has an attached meaning, then you stop looking for it entirely. Whereas a story like this, symbology is everywhere, from the curled roots in the background trying to stretch up and get out, to the formless shapes taking on the shapes of animals and creatures. This blackness that's infected the mother's heart, and she's trying to stop the father. It's great. It's great, and I'm gonna keep going around in circles trying to find more things to really say about this game. Inmost, people of the internet, obviously you've seen the game. You've not seen everything, because there's still 15 or so, no, 25 or so more pain left to find out there in the game somewhere. But you've experienced my take on the story, and you've seen, I suppose you've seen a story critic and a story enthusiast at work breaking down the layers of potentiality and foreshadowing in the game. And maybe that will have been good for some of you. Thank you for joining me. Stay safe out there. Remember, if you find yourself in distress from having seen this playthrough, there are people that you can talk to. Catch you all in the next video. Thank you again.